All right. So today we are going to do a very, very short thing, but super, super important idea. And that is moles. Why do we use it? How do we convert it? And how to answer the questions that you're going to face. Now, in moles, the first idea that why do we use it is because we need a standard way to deal with amount of matter. So mole is the SI unit of amount of matter. We want to know one way to count how many atoms there are or how many particles. Now, that means when I say particles, I'm being clever because I'm using the same word for atom, molecule, ion, formula unit, and so many other particles that we see in chemistry. I don't care about the bonding. I don't care about uh, whether it has lost electrons or something or gained electrons. All I care about is how many they are. Why is that important? Because in chemistry, things react one on one. So one atom reacting with another atom and sharing, losing electrons and that kind of thing. Moles takes all of that problem away, gives me a very reasonable way to count things, to measure things. Okay, how do humans measure? Humans use three main things to measure stuff. We use mass as one way to measure stuff. We also use volume as one way to measure stuff. And similarly, we also use concentration as another way to measure stuff. Now, of course, there's different things that we measure using that. So volume, for example, we prefer it for gases. And concentration, we prefer it for mixtures when you have solutions. Okay. Now, all of these can be connected to moles. How? Through division or multiplication. So if I want to convert mass into moles, I need one standard way of doing that, and that is that I take MR or AR of that thing and I divide by that. And if I want to convert moles back into my mass, I simply multiply with that. Similarly, if I want to go from gas volume to moles or moles to gas volume, all I need to do is to convert into moles, I divide by 24 for gas volume for O levels and IGCSE. Now, why 24? Because this is at room temperature and pressure. Similarly, if I want to convert back, I multiply by 24 to find the gas volume. And for concentration, I multiply by volume of the solution. And to convert back, I divide by volume. So that is the main thing. It in the heart of all of this is the idea that 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the power 23 particles. दुनिया में कोई भी चीज है 1 mole is this many particles. Why do I need that? Because it's convenient. For example, what is 1 dash of anything which is equal to 12? What goes in the dash? What goes in the blank? Have you ever been grocery shopping? Yeah, you're right. It is 1 dozen. So 1 dozen of anything is 12. Just like that, 1 mole of anything is this much. But why do we use dozen? Because it's convenient for many situations. Now, is there a way to count 12? Yes, you can manually count 12 and you'll be like, okay, I get a dozen of this. Is there a way to manually count this many? No, that's just impossible. So then what do? We simply measure things in terms of their mass, in gas volume, in concentration, and we find moles, and then we know how much we have. So in dozen, we can find 12 separately, and then be like, okay, I have a dozen. Or I can find dozen and multiply by 12 to find that, okay, how many things I have. But in moles, I can't do that. In moles, I simply find moles through this, or this, and then I can multiply with this to find how many particles I have. So this is one way of finding moles. You take mass, divide by MR, you get moles. You take gas volume, you divide by 24 to get moles. You want to go back, moles times this or moles times this. Have you used this somewhere else? Of course, we use it all the time. For example, I want to convert dollars into Pakistani rupees, for example. So I know that $1 is equal to, आजकल क्या चल रहा है? 280. Yeah, God, थोड़ा सोच के डर लगता है. Anyway, so it's 280 rupees to a dollar. Now, if I want to use this method and I have, let's suppose I have 10,000 rupees and I want to convert them to dollars, how many methods I have? One method is to simply be like, okay, 10,000 divided by 280 will give me how many dollars I have. So 10,000 rupees divided by 280, and that gives me almost $36. So what did I do? I had dollars, I had rupees, I needed to convert dollars to rupees. I multiply by 280. I wanted to convert rupees to dollar. I divide by 280. Why? Because dollar is the standard that I want. So using rupees, I can simply convert it. And this is my conversion factor. That's the same thing with moles. With mass, the conversion factor is MR. With volume, the conversion factor is 24. That's it. Is there another method to do that? Yep, there is a very simple method which is called ratio method. So what's the first method? First method is आपके पास method है conversion factor. You use that conversion factor. Second method, ratio method. How does the ratio method work? I know $1 is 280 rupees. So 10,000 rupees is X dollars. And I multiply this with this with this. So this gives me 10,000 times 1 is equal to 280 times X. X equals to 10,000 divided by 280, almost 36. There you go. This is ratio method. Instead of having to use the conversion factor and dividing or multiplying, I can simply use the ratio method to convert it. Is there another method? Yep, there is a third method to do that. It's called formula. I can be like, okay, what is dollars? It is equal to rupees. And then I divide it by $1, and that is equal to $1 in rupees, 280. And I don't need to write this. So this gives me a very convenient formula. Here, this is the rate that, okay, how much is $1 equal to 280? And this is amount in dollar, this is amount in rupees, and I can easily convert them. Three methods, which are all very intuitive, very convenient. We can all do them. Do you all understand how to do this? Are we all ready to start a money exchange business?
Yes.
Now let's change all of this. And instead of having the almighty dollar, let's just convert it all to moles. And will these methods hold up? Let's see. Instead of having all of this, I'm just going to go with moles, mass, volume, concentration, and the conversion factor. Let's see. I have 2 kilograms of hydrogen gas, or hydrogen को छोड़ें कोई और चीज लेते हैं. Let's suppose water. And I want to find moles. How do I do that? I need to know the conversion factor. What's the conversion factor? For water, the conversion factor is MR, which is the MR of water, which is 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. That is 2 times 1 plus 16, 18. Which means 1 mole of water is 18 grams. So I have 2000 kgs, 2000 grams. I divided by 18. That gives me how many moles of water I have. I have 111 moles. I can easily find it using the conversion factor. Can I use the ratio method? Yeah, let's try it. What is 1 mole of water? 1 mole. That is 18 grams. How much would 2000 grams of water be? Cross multiply. 2000 is equal to 18x. X equals to 2000 over 18. Again, 111 mole. That is how much water I have. Can I use formula? You bet I can. Is there a formula? What is the formula? Let's write it down. Number of moles is mass over conversion factor. Basically, how much is 1 mole equal to? MR. So in case of water, number of moles will be 2000 over 18, which is 111 moles. So there you go. You can convert using formula, ratio method, or conversion factor. I mean, all always be correct. Now, can I use the same methods, but to convert one thing into another thing? Let's see. With dollars, what I can do is I can take rupees, convert them to dollars, then convert dollars to pounds, for example. Pretty convenient. I can do that. Can I do the same thing in moles? Can I be like, okay, instead of having rupees to dollars to pounds, can I do the same thing with moles? Can I take mass, convert it to moles, and convert to gas volume? I can. Just like I can go this way, I can go this way with moles. All you need to do is go from mass to moles to volume. Just like dollar is the central currency of the world, we go from any one currency to any other currency, and you're good to go. No particular issue there. So let's try it. Vikram, we are learning how to convert things into moles or back. That's the idea. So we going with this map that we have, and that's what we're gonna go with. So there's 3 methods of doing it: conversion factor, ratio method, and formula. And you can just use any one of those methods. You will always get the correct answer. So I'm gonna give you one question, and that is that what is volume of 1.8 kg steam? That's a very straightforward question. I have steam, which means it's H2O. I want to know its volume. This is what I have, this thing. This is the mass. This is what I want to find out. Is that a gas? Yes, it's a gas volume. Let's do it. If you look at the first method, which is, what is the first method? Conversion factor. That means that I should first start here, go into moles, and then from moles, find the gas volume. So let me do the same problem using method 1, which is conversion factor. So I first go from mass to moles and then to this. So the conversion factor for mass is MR. So I divide by that. So that is 1.8 over 18. The 1.8 into 1000, because it is in kilos, I need to convert it to grams. So that is a 1000 grams. Oh, sorry, 1000 moles. Once I have moles, I can find the gas volume using conversion factor. कैसे? मोल्स निकालने के लिए डिवाइड किया था, मोल्स से वॉल्यूम निकालने के लिए मल्टीप्लाई।
सर
यस था
सर 1800 अगर 18 में डिवाइड हो तो 100 आंसर आता है, 1000 नहीं आता।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू। यस, इट इज 100. So I have 100 moles. So 100 moles times the conversion factor for volume. Volume के लिए conversion factor है 24 for room temperature and pressure. So 24, that gives me 2400 liters या TMQ. Because we work with British curriculum, they prefer TMQ. American books में आपको liters मिलेगा, but एक ही बात. Okay, I want to use the other method. Let's say I want to use the ratio method. So let's do it. अच्छा, रेशियो मेथड में मुझे पहले मोल्स में जाना है और फिर उसके बाद वॉल्यूम में जाना. So I'll be like, okay, 1 mole for water is 18 grams. So 1800 grams will be X moles. So X will equal to 100 moles. Basically cross multiply किया और divide कर लिया उसको. And then from here, I can be like, okay, I have 100 moles. Conversion, how is 1 mole? 1 mole is 24 dm cube for a gas, for any gas. And so what will 100 moles equal to? X. Cross multiply. And X is equal to 24 times 100, 2400 dm cube. So through ratio method, I can get the same answer. What if I want to use formulas? So I can be like, okay, what is number of moles? Moles is, usually we write it as M, mass over MR. So mass is going to be 1.8 kgs, which is 1 divided into 10 power 3. divided by 18, that is 100 moles. And then I know moles is volume over 24. So moles is 100, volume is unknown, 24. Volume comes out to be, when this multiplies, gives me 2400 TMQ. All works, but is there a shorter method of doing this? I mean, sure, I can do that. हर चीज को मोल्स में करें, मोल से वापस कर लें, श्योर. बट फायदा अगर कन्वर्जन ही करनी है तो कोई आसान तरीका होना चाहिए. तो होगा ना तरीका. Let's see. Let's just write down all the formulas. Number of moles is mass over mR. Number of moles is gas volume over 24. Number of moles is concentration multiplied by volume of solution. अगर ये भी मोल्स बताता है, ये भी मोल्स बताता है, ये भी मोल्स बताता है, why aren't they equal? Of course they can be equal, right? So why can't I just be like, okay, I want to start here, end here, let's put them both equal to each other. Why not? I mean, sure. So I can be like mass over mR is moles, and that is also equal to volume over 24. So there you go. Mass is 1800 grams, mR is 18, volume is unknown, over 24. Now let's do it. Volume is equal to 1800 over 18 times 24. Energy 2400 dm cube. Done. I don't need to first find moles and then do it. The whole point of moles is to make it easy for conversion. Let's do it with ratios. Let's start there. I know that 1 mole is 18 grams, and that is also 24 dm cube. That's the ratio, right? 1 mole is 24 dm cube. So if I have 1800 grams, that should equal x dm cube. Cross multiply this. So 18 times x is equal to 24 times 1800 divided by that, sorry, into 100. And that gives me 2400 dm cube. Straightforward. I don't need to just first find moles and then convert it like that. Can I use the same idea here with conversion factor? Yes, it is. So you start with mass. You want to convert to moles, divide by mR. You want to convert that to gas volume, multiply by 24. Let's do it. 1800 over 18 into 24. Done. Direct करो ना. जरूरत क्या है individually calculate करने की? Let's see if any of these methods work for another question. ये तो बहुत आसान problem थी ना. Let's try another way. Let's say I have I have 7.2 kg nitrogen. I want to find out its volume. Let's do it. What method would you want to do? What method do you want to do?
We can do the ratio method.
Let's do the ratio method. Okay. So first, I want to figure out that, okay, 1 mole of nitrogen. What is its MR? Nitrogen is N2, 14 times 2. That's 28 grams. And I want to find volume. What is 1 mole of nitrogen? 1 mole of any gas is 24 dm cube. Okay, I have the ratios. Now let's do it. 7200 grams will be X volume, cross multiply. 28X is equal to 24 times 7200. X is equal to 24 times 7200 over 28. Just put it all in the calculator. No need to approximate in the middle. बार बार रुक के आंसर लिखने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Okay. So I am getting 6171 dm cube. There you go. Okay, let's try another method. Let's try the conversion factor method. I had 7.2 kg nitrogen. Mass है ना 7200 है. Moles conversion factor to convert to moles divide by mR, and then conversion factor to convert to volume multiply by 24. See, कोई ज़्यादा सोचने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं. We do it, we'll get the same answer. So this is second method, this is the first method. Let's try another way. Let's say I want to find using the formulas. ठीक है. 7200 so formula क्या था? Number of moles is mass over mR and volume चाहिए ना? Just put it equal to that. So volume over 24. बात खत्म. So mass की जगह लिखा 7200, 18 equals to volume over 24. You cross मिलेगा. Yes, I can relate to that. Yes. ठीक है. So mole conversion doesn't have to be a problem. It's a very, very straightforward process. I'm going to give you a couple of problems so that I know that you understand how to do this. You can pick any one method. Okay. So, and then we'll move on to the more technical part, which is called stoichiometry. Okay. So I'm going to start with a very simple thing. Let's say I have, okay, here's the thing. What is mass of 4.8 dm cube oxygen gas? Go on, do it. If you use, yeah, so if you use conversion factor, so as Vikram said, it's going to be 4.8 divided by 24 to convert it to moles, and then multiply by 32 the MR to find the mass. So mass is simply going to be 6.4 grams. But if you use ratio method, same thing. 1 mole, you put the standard volume, so 24 dm cube, and that is equal to MR, which is 32 grams. So for 4.8, you'll get X cross multiply. So 24x is equal to 32 times 4.8. X is going to be 32 times 4.8 over 24. And that will also give you 6.4 grams. And if you're somebody who prefers formulas, sure, no problem. Write down the formula. Number of moles is mass over MR. And that's also equal to volume over 24. So now mass is going to be the mass that you had, you don't know. MR is 32. Volume is, what was it? 4.8 over 24. Mass will simply be 6.4 when you cross multiply this. And that's it. That's how you find all of this. Okay. So basically, mole conversion is simply these three things. Now, what about solutions? Are they any different? Not really. I mean, number of moles is concentration times volume for solutions. You just have to be careful that concentration is number of moles in 1 dm cube and volume is the volume in dm cube. Usually in exam, they don't give you the volume in dm cube. They give you the volume in cm cube. So you can simply divide by 1,000 to convert it to dm cube. That's the key idea here. And that's it. There's no other difference here. So if I wanted to convert, like, how do I know that I have to use this formula? Read the question. So for example, the question would be something like 50 cm cube of 0.05 moles per dm cube H2SO4. The whole idea that they've given me two numbers for one thing, and where these numbers are simply telling me what they are. I mean, this unit is telling me its concentration, and this unit is telling me its volume. But it's a liquid, not a gas. So how do I use this? Number of moles is concentration 0.05 into volume, which is 50 over 1,000. And simply that will give me whatever the number of moles are. So 0.05 times 0.05, that is 0.0025 moles. Okay. You can also write like this if your calculator gives you that. I mean, both are the same numbers. कोई discrimination नहीं है कि decimals में डालना है इसमें. They're so same numbers. Okay, so that's that. We can easily convert all of that. So that is the idea of mole conversion.